Short corner ready. Okay, ready? Fight!
Yeah, that's me. Not bad, huh? But it isn't always like this. If you want to know how I got here, well, let's start at the beginning. Most days, I'm just trying to make it work. The gym, they let me train there for free because they feel bad for me. Food, let's just say I'm good at keeping it low cost. Hey! And home, it's not exactly cozy, but hey, it's got a view. Everything changed last December. That's when I got the letter. An entire month of fights. My chance to prove I'm more than some scrappy kid living on borrowed time. Only problem? The league's miles away and I can't afford the bus ticket back and forth every fight. So, I did what I always do. I figured it out. Living out of school during winter break is not really how I expected my career to get started, but hey, we all gotta start somewhere. And now that I'm far away from my gym and don't really have the equipment to, improve myself, hopefully I'm good enough for these amateur leagues. Night 1 is 2 back-to-back fights scheduled for us, so we've got our work put out for us. Round 1 started rough. I was taking some unnecessary shots, and without a corner to yell at me to keep my guard up, I had to make mid-fight adjustments on my own. I began working the body more since he kept a high guard, and while it worked, I had to eat a lot of punches just to land mine. The round was a chaotic back and forth. He had the quicker head movement, but I had the faster hands. And although I felt like I did good after round 1, I still felt like I was down 0-1 going into round 2. Round 2, that was a completely different story. I took over the fight completely. Going into round 3, it was more of the same story. My opponent didn't even stick around for the decision. He left before it could be called. But when it was called, my hand was raised. That wasn't the end of the night though. It was a back-to-back fight, so I had to be ready to go again. The second fight, a completely different story. Sure, I was still taking some bad shots, but my skill level was beyond this guy's. I made it clear there are levels to this game. And so, here we are. You know how my story starts, but how does it end? I dominated this fight in a blowout fashion, leaving no doubt. When I got back to the school to rest up, things took a turn. Security was everywhere. I must have tripped a silent alarm or something breaking in last time. It's not an issue, but it's clear I'll have to move more carefully from now on. And with no gym to train at, I would have to shadow box quietly throughout the halls. The next weekend, I was scheduled for one fight, but this time, it was against my tallest opponent. This next fight, it was nothing short of an embarrassment. And for who you ask, well, take a look at your screen. From the start, I was getting rocked on almost every punch he threw. It didn't matter if my guard was up, his shot slipped right through like my defense wasn't even there. For the first time in my career, I got knocked down in the first round. It was a humbling moment, one that hit harder than any punch could. I tried to regroup, making adjustments mid-fight. My plan was simple. Work the body to drop his guard, then go upstairs and land some meaningful punches. But there was a major flaw in my strategy. Taking punches to give punches might work against some opponents, but not against him. Every shot absorbed felt like it chipped away at me. And my own punches, they lacked the power to turn the tide. By the end of round 1, I knew I was in trouble. I wasn't just losing the fight, I was getting outclassed. I walked back to my corner knowing I needed a miracle in round 2, a knockdown at the very least to have a chance with the judges. When the bell for round 2 rang, reality set in fast. I wasn't the hammer tonight, I was the nail. Early in the round, I ate another devastating knockdown. This time, I didn't just feel it in my body, I felt it in my spirit. I tried to fire back, throwing absolute haymakers, but it was like punching a brick wall. My punches had nothing behind them, and it was clear I couldn't hurt him no matter how hard I swung. That's when it became obvious I'd found a glaring hole in my game. Round 3 was different. I wasn't fighting to win anymore, I was fighting to survive. This was my Rocky moment, but not the triumphant cinematic kind. I was too tired to outwork him on the feet, too drained to land any meaningful punches. My one and only goal was to survive this round and make it to the bell. Somehow, I did. I survived. When the fight was over and the decision came in, I knew exactly what the outcome would be. It wasn't a loss in the technical sense, it was a wake-up call. I walked out of the ring with a lot to think about. That fight exposed my weaknesses in a way no training session could ever. It was clear that if I wanted to keep improving, I needed to reflect, rebuild, and come back stronger. So, I got a bus ticket, spent all my money from the first 2 fights, and went back to the gym to work. After getting back to the school, it seemed like security had died down and they weren't really looking for me anymore, so now I had even more of a chance to train, do road work inside of the school, and whatever else I needed. This got me ready for the next weekend, which was another back-to-back fight, so I needed the stamina. After getting back from training, I felt more prepared for this fight. I had worked on new techniques, and while I wasn't completely confident in how they hold up in the ring, I was eager to put them to the test. The fight started the way most of mine do, with me coming out with my guard down and taking a few clean shots to the face. He cracked me a couple times with solid punches, but I quickly made my mid-fight adjustments. This time, I leaned into a more defensive style, using the Philly shell to roll with punches and set up counters. It felt different. Although I didn't land anything particularly powerful, the Philly shell helped me block body shots more effectively and absorb far less damage. It was a step in the right direction, though I clearly still needed improvement on my counter punching. By the end of round 1, I feel like it could have gone either way. I knew I'd need to turn things up in the second round. From round 2 on, it was a different story. I absolutely schooled him. He wasn't the worst opponent I've faced so far, but it's clear the work I put in while training made me more technical. My head movement was on point, and while I didn't manage to land the knockdown blow or visibly wobble him, I stunned him with the sheer volume I put out. My punches were landing at a much higher rate, and he struggled to keep up. Round 3 followed the same pattern: consistent pressure, clean punches, and strong defense. I was in control for most of the round, but towards the end I got clipped with a solid shot, which I'll have to give it to him was a good setup. It definitely shook me up and made the decision feel more uncertain. Still, the scorecards came in and my hand was raised, and I improved my record to 3-1. Now, just one more fight stands between me and the chance to really put my name out there, to show everyone what I'm capable of and hopefully get signed. But this next fight, words can't do it justice. You've just got to see it for yourself. It's just one hit. I hit him 100 times. Nothing happens. By the end, I walked away with a decent amount of cash and my name starting to carry weight in the scene. The question now is, will it be enough? Will my 2 losses where I got completely dominated hold me back? I'd love to hear your thoughts. How can I improve my game? What do you think I need to do to, beat those 2 opponents I lost to? Let me know, and with any luck, hopefully I'll see you guys on the big stage soon.